All right, guys, we are in Algebra 2, Mod 8. I hope you had a great weekend. We are going to continue our chapter on trigonometry, your introduction to trigonometry. We're not going too far in depth, but today is by far one of the most important days of notes you've had, not in a long time, but this year in terms of moving forward in trig and pre-calc and college algebra, ACT questions. There's so much you can do with the solving of right triangles. You might remember some of this from geometry, but guys, Algebra 2, Mod 8, today is Monday, April 27th. So 4/27/20 is the date. These are our notes. It says solving right triangles now. Freeze for a second here. If you go to your Schoology, yes, there is a video presentation that obviously you're watching right now, but also attached to Schoology is a document that says 4/27/20 notes and another document that says 4/27/20 homework. So guys, I've got this document that I'm about to write on and use and look at, and you're going to follow. I've got that already loaded up to your Schoology as a document, listed 427 notes. So if you have the ability to go to that and print it out and have it in front of you to use as your note-taking material, that'd be great. And then, of course, you can print out the 4/27/20 homework document on Schoology and do your homework right on that document. So if you can print out the document for your notes and the document for your homework, great. If you can't print it out, but want to go to it and call it up on your screen and go ahead and copy the problems down for these notes, I would pause at this point and do that if you don't want to go print it out. Okay, or you could just draw the pictures as I go and I explain these 4 important right triangle problems to you. Okay? All right, bottom line is, if you go to picture number 1, I've got a nice, neat right triangle, okay? And there's some information given to you right underneath it. And all I've got to do, or all I want you to do here, is to solve that right triangle, meaning find one of its missing pieces for me. Now, of course, you can't just go randomly solve it and find that missing piece if you don't organize your thoughts by taking this data, this information, and putting it on your picture. Guys, we're all visual learners. We want to visualize how this triangle looks and how it fits together so that we can then try to find our missing piece using trigonometry. So advice number 1, or step number 1, always take the information and label your picture accurately. So look, angle A, it says, is 35 degrees. So everybody go to angle A and put 35 degrees right in that corner. Now, guys, obviously that's the angle that they're giving me. So I'm going to circle that corner and concentrate on it, and I'm going to call that my reference angle. That'll be the angle I'm referring to, 35 degrees. Agreed? Now, side C is 8. Now, careful, you're thinking, oh my God, which one's side C? Okay, what's our rule? If this is angle C in the corner, side C is always the side that's across from that capital letter. So if this is capital C, little c is across from him, and this side here is 8. So side C is 8, and side A, which of course is located where? Across from angle A, is my question mark. So guys, here's angle A. So across from him, side A equals question mark. So I've correctly and accurately labeled my picture, and our job is to figure out how tall is that missing side on that picture. Okay, I'm going to write down one of our favorite words, put them in quotes here. Good old SOHCAHTOA. We practiced this on Friday, remember? trying to set up triangles correctly. Hey guys, watch how simple. Go to your reference angle, that angle A, 35 degrees, and put your pencil on that corner. I'm going to ask you a question. Which two sides on this picture are you going to work with? Well, we're going to work with what? The opposite side, and what else? The hypotenuse, aren't we? The opposite and the hypotenuse. I am not going to work with which side? The adjacent side. Why? Because it's empty, it's blank. Of course, if that side is empty and it's blank and we don't know anything about it, we're not going to work with it, are we? So do you agree that using this as our reference angle, we're going to work with the opposite and the hypotenuse? Oh, and remember, SOHCAHTOA, sine is opposite over hypotenuse, isn't it? So you're going to write the sine of 35 degrees equals opposite, which is A, over the hypotenuse, which is 8. Now, guys, every time we do one of these, this is understood to be over 1. You're always going to cross multiply. Agreed? What's 1 times A? A. And then we've got 8 times the sine of 35. So I'm going to write 8 times the sine of 35. And that's what I'm going to type into my calculator. So have your calculators out. Make sure you're on degrees like yesterday. And literally type in 8 sine 35, enter. And to the nearest tenth, anytime we're looking for a missing side, the nearest tenth, it says 4.58. So my missing side, make sure you get that on your calculator, is 4.6. Okay? All right, that's the introduction to how we're going to solve a missing piece of a right triangle. So let's move a little quicker now. Go to block number 2. If you've printed out your document, then fine, you'll go right to that document. If you're looked at it and copied down this picture, that's great. If you've done neither of those, then you need to copy that picture really quick and supply this information underneath it. Angle B is 42 degrees, side A is 6, and side C is my question mark. Okay, here we go, guys. Ready? Angle B, oh, that's up here, right, is 42 degrees. So big deal. I write 42 degrees in there. Side A, which is located what? Across from angle A. Here's angle A. So side A over here is how tall? It looks like A equals 6. And C, oh, is my question mark. Now here's angle C. So side C is across from him. C equals question mark. Okay? So here we go. All you've got to do to set up this correct equation is, again, establish a reference angle. Go to the angle that they gave you. Angle B is 42 degrees. So, guys, circle angle B up in that corner. That's my starting point. Agreed? My reference angle, so to speak. Now, do you agree that the opposite side is the one that's empty or blank, isn't it? So I'm not going to use the opposite side. I don't know anything about it. I am going to use the what? Follow the bouncing pen here. The adjacent and the hypotenuse. Agreed that if that 42 degrees is my reference angle, I am going to use the side right beside it, which is the adjacent side, and the side that's across from the right angle, which is the hypotenuse. So going back to SOHCAHTOA, isn't cosine adjacent over hypotenuse? Oh, so I'm going to say the cosine of 42 degrees equals, and then you got to go in the right order and follow your formula. Adjacent over hypotenuse would be 6 over C. Okay, now careful. Notice this time your letters on the bottom instead of on the top. So when I put this over 1 and I go to cross multiply, when I cross multiply right here, I have C times the cosine of 42 equals 1 times 6 is 6. Agreed? Now we're trying to get c by itself. So I'm going to divide by the cosine of 42. That should make sense if you're taking good notes and thinking along with me. Those would cancel. And my missing side is, and guys, you're literally on your calculator going to hit 6 divided by cosine of 42. And it looks like to the nearest tenth, it says 8.07, so 8.1 for my missing side, which makes sense because that was the hypotenuse, so it should be the biggest side of your triangle, and 8.1 is certainly bigger than 6. Okay? All right. Block 3. You've got a right triangle facing the other direction. So what? It's still triangle ABC. Side A is 4, B is 7. Angle A is so instead of searching for a missing side, we're trying to solve for a missing angle, aren't we? Big deal. Don't panic. Watch this. Angle A is our question mark. So angle A is going to be our question mark in that corner. So we're trying to find angle A here. So that's my reference angle, right? The angle I'm going to refer to, because that's the one I'm looking for. Side A, which is over here, is 4. And side B, which would be what? Across from angle B, is 7. So this time we don't know the hypotenuse, do we? Do you guys agree that the side across from the right angle, the hypotenuse is empty, and I'm not going to use the hypotenuse? So if I'm in this corner here trying to find angle A, I am going to use the what? Guys, give me words. The opposite side and the what? Adjacent side. Which formula is opposite over adjacent? Remember SOHCAHTOA? Tangent is opposite over adjacent. So I'm going to use the tangent of, now notice we don't know the angle, do we? So we call it angle A, equals opposite over adjacent would be 4 over 7. Whoops, there we go, guys, sorry. Here's angle A. We're doing tangent, so I wrote the tangent of angle A equals opposite over adjacent. So I wrote 4 over 7. Now remember from Friday, if you actually were paying attention, what did I say several times? If you're ever looking for a missing angle, what button do you have to hit on your calculator? You got to hit the second function button, don't you? So guys, tan of angle A, we're looking for a missing angle. You are hitting second tan, right? Inverse tan, and then type 4 divided by 7 and hit enter. And if you did that right, everybody try it. Make sure you can use your calculator correctly. Again, to the nearest tenth, angle A is about 29.7 degrees is what you should have got on your calculator. If for some reason that doesn't make sense, try it again. You can always go back and re-watch any problem on this video if you get stuck on one of your homework problems, okay? Finally, the last one, a nice tall right triangle again. Let's label our picture. Side A, which is across from angle A, is 14.1. Watch, if this is you doing your homework, watch how easy. You got to mark your picture first. Side C, which is across from angle C, is 20.5. Big deal. Angle B is your question mark. So go up to angle B, put a question mark, circle that. That's my reference angle. That's my starting point, right? Because they want to know how big is angle B. Okay? Answer this question, at least to yourself. Which side are you not going to work with this time? Because it's empty. It would be the what? The opposite side. It's empty. So I am going to work with the what? The adjacent, the one right beside it, and the hypotenuse. Agreed? Adjacent over hypotenuse is which word? Remember SOHCAHTOA? cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So I'm going to write the cosine of angle B, right? Because that's my unknown, equals, now you got to go in the right order. You got to do adjacent over hypotenuse. So that's 14.1 over 20.5. So again, on my calculator, since I'm looking for a missing angle, I've got to hit the inverse cosine button, the second button first. So second cosine, 14.1 divided by 20.5 gives me an angle B of about, now I'm looking at 46.5, so 46.5 degrees. And we should be able to solve a right triangle, meaning find any one of its missing pieces, by using trigonometry and good old SOHCAHTOA. That's basic right triangle trig. Okay, critical for the ACT test. There's several of those, I would think, the last 10 problems on the ACT. All right, your homework, again, I've already said this. This is going to be due what? Tuesday the 28th at noon. Not Thursday, the 30th at noon. Guys, we're not doing this on your time schedule, at your convenience. You were supposed to watch this video on Monday the 27th, like you were in school, taking notes, learning the material. Big deal, was only 15 minutes of your time. And now, to see if you understand it, you're going to try the 4 homework problems, which are on your Schoology as a document. So go to 42720 homework, either print out that document and just do it right on there, or call it up onto your screen, copy it onto a piece of paper, and do the 4 right triangle problems on the document that's attached to your Schoology for 427, okay? Great job. I think that makes sense. Good luck. Take your time on the homework. Try to do them correctly. Round all answers to the to the nearest tenth, and we'll see you tomorrow.